10 Unknown Facts About the Sahara Desert. Over the course of ages, the shifting sands of the Sahara have engulfed towns, animals, and humans. The world's largest hot desert, it is likely that no one will ever find them again if they become lost in its vast sand plains. Whole armies were known to march across the ancient world and never be seen again. Only now, with contemporary technology, are we penetrating all of the mysteries of the Sahara, and there are many of them. The Sahara Desert has been holding back 10 incredible discoveries from us.
The Sahara Desert has been holding back 10 incredible discoveries from us. 10 Lost Forts. Through the use of satellites, explorers have been able to see beneath the canopies of the most impenetrable jungles and reach the heart of the most hostile deserts without ever having to get up from their chairs. More than 100 Libyan Garamantes citadel ruins were discovered by satellites. 2010. 1. Because the oil industry had thoroughly mapped the area in search of potential drilling sites, archaeologists were able to examine through satellite images for the unmistakable indications of walls. After the revolution in Libya that deposed Colonel Gaddafi, scholars on the ground were able to determine that the buildings were in fact constructed by the Garamantes. However, their trips were halted. The region where the Garamantes resided was already extremely arid during the time they were at their height, about the 2nd century BC to the 7th century AD. They built underground water tunnels that brought water from antiquated reservoirs so they could farm their land. The fields withered when this water source dried up, and the Sahara eventually buried the ruins of the forts and settlements.
9. Craters and meteorites. Rocks and meteorites from outer space have always pelted the Earth with their presence. Most of them harmlessly burn up in the atmosphere, leaving only a bright track in the sky. Others fall to the Earth and cause terrible damage. The craters left behind by such collisions are frequently disregarded due to erosion or plant growth because the majority occurred in the distant past. However, the scars can still be seen in desert areas. The iron meteorite strike location from roughly 5,000 years ago is still clearly visible in the 45-meter-wide, 148-foot Camille crater in southwest Egypt. 2. However, it is possible to locate more than simply the craters caused by meteorites. The meteorite itself has been found in pieces in the Camille crater, where the impact fractured it and dispersed it across the dunes. This discovery is not unique. The Sahara has produced nearly 1/5 of all retrieved meteorites. This is due to the fact that meteorites stand out on the dunes and are frequently ready to be picked up. There is nowhere better to go meteorite hunting than the Antarctic snows.
8. Desert glass from Leah. In any event, when the remaining parts of shooting stars and their holes have disappeared, different hints of enormous impacts can remain. Around quite a while back, a shooting star hit the Earth with sufficient energy to liquefy a huge district of the Libyan desert into sheets of fragile green glass. 3. The hole left by this blast presently can't seem to be found, yet a lot of the desert glass actually exists, and in a few unforeseen spots. At the point when Howard Carter opened the burial chamber of Tutankhamun, he found among the fortunes a jeweled breastplate, likewise alluded to as a pectoral, having a place with the dead lord. At its middle was a hallowed scarab bug cut from green glass. The Egyptians likely had no clue about the beginning of the glass they utilized. However, intriguingly, there was one more antiquity produced using supernatural material. One of the blades in the burial place was made from iron that came from a shooting star. 7. Nabta stones. Any place water can be found in a desert, you will find life sticking on. At the point when individuals lived close to Nabta Playa in southern Egypt 9,000 to a long time back, the region was dependent upon yearly flooding, which made a lake. Neolithic clans came there to take care of and water their animals. 4. These individuals made do there, yet they fostered a culture of penance. Cows, sheep, and goats have all been seen as ceremonially covered there. Like a long time back, individuals at Nabta set up enormous stone blocks all around, with additional chunks of rock emanating outward. It has been guaranteed that this stone circle, which originates before Stonehenge by 1,000 years, is the earliest known cosmically adjusted structure. There is still discussion regarding what the very circle focuses to, however one scientist guarantees that it lines up with the place of Orion's belt, as it would have showed up overhead quite a while back. Stones Nabta. Life will cling to an area of a desert where water may be found. There was a lake there when humans lived close to Nabta Playa in southern Egypt between 9,000 and 6,000 years ago. There, Neolithic tribes traveled to water and feed their livestock. Fourth, these people established a culture of sacrifice in addition to surviving there. There, ritual graves for cows, sheep, and goats have all been discovered. The inhabitants of Nabta constructed a circle of substantial stone blocks some 6,000 years ago, with additional rock slabs extending outward. This stone circle, which is 1,000 years older than Stonehenge, has been described as the first known astronomically significant stone circle.
6. Hidden driver. There hasn't always been a Sahara Desert. The boundaries of the sands have moved over millions of years as the climate altered. Scientists are now focusing on the history of the Sahara in the same way that they can look for prehistoric signs of water on Mars. According to research, the Sahara operated as the source of what used to be the world's 12th largest drainage basin. When a river-carved underwater canyon was found off the coast of Mauritania, the remnants of the river became apparent. Also discovered were river sediments in unanticipated locations. A satellite provided the last-ditch verification of a missing river's existence. 5. The Tamanrasset River has replaced the fabled Lost River, and study.
5. Whales under the Sahara. More than only rivers have vanished. What was once an ocean has changed over geological time to become one of the driest places on Earth. There is evidence of the extinct Tethys Ocean in Egypt's Wadi al-Hidden. It is one of the best places, albeit unlikely, to find whale fossils, and is known as Whale Valley. These fossils shed light on how whales changed from being land-dwelling animals to ones that lived entirely at sea. 37 million years ago, when the forerunners of contemporary whales perished in the water, their remains were buried in sediment. Their old abode became land as the Earth's crust lifted. Paleontologists are now studying the 15-meter, 50-foot long skeletons.
4. Machimosaurus rex monsters have long lived in the waters. Machimosaurus rex, a 9-meter-long, 30-foot crocodile, lived in what is now the Sahara Desert about 120 million years ago. The largest known ocean-dwelling crocodile is the M. rex. M. rex most likely previously resided in a large lagoon that extended all the way to the Tethys Ocean. There, it snatched fish and cracked the shells of sea turtles with the help of its enormous head, amazing bite force, and short, vicious fangs. It might have also eaten the dead bodies of the huge animals that also lived there. The Sahara is a desert, so it may seem paradoxical that so much marine life is being discovered there. It may seem strange that so much aquatic life is being discovered in the Sahara, but the reason paleontologists are finding so much there is because the desert is so hostile to life. Scientists frequently have the ability to just walk through eroding places to get great data because there are no plants or soil to get in the way of them in the rocks underneath.
3. Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus is the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever unearthed, continuing the pattern of nautical discoveries made in a desert. Spinosaurus, also known as Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, which lived 95 million years ago, was larger than the more well-known T-Rex, measuring 16 meters 52 feet long and about 7 meters 23 feet tall. The more well-known adversary, Spinosaurus, was not similar to the way it appeared or lived. Spinosaurus had several adaptations that have perplexed scientists, including a massive sail of bones that protruded from its back. Spinosaurus is currently regarded to be the only known completely semi-aquatic dinosaur. It wasn't until another group of fossils were found in Morocco that scientists were truly allowed to examine Spinosaurus because the original discovery's bones were destroyed during World War II. Long, flat feet for paddling and nostrils high on the snout that allow it to breathe even when mostly submerged are two characteristics that indicate Spinosaurus lived partially in the water. The same way a shark's fin chills us today, the enormous sail on its back must have frightened ancient people who lived near waterways.
2P-40 from World War II. P-40 Kitty Hawk. Flight Sergeant Dennis Copping was transporting a damaged P-40 Kitty Hawk to a British base in the desert on June 28, 1942, for maintenance. Both the aeroplane and its teenage pilot vanished somewhere along the route. 9. The plane's wreckage wasn't found until a worker in the oil industry stumbled upon it in 2012. The aeroplane was largely undamaged and had never been touched. Additionally, there was still proof that a parachute had been used to build a shelter. Later, the aircraft was transported to the El Alamein Museum and partially refurbished, to mixed reviews. Some said the plane should have stayed in its current location as a tribute to its young pilot. Others observed that the museum's restoration work made the object appear to be a poorly painted model. No remnants of Dennis Copping were discovered despite the recovery of the plane. Another enigma that the Sahara holds is what exactly became of him.
1. Gobero skeletons. The truth that Paul Serrano was a member of the team that discovered additional Spinosaurus fossils means that he has already included on this list. He unintentionally came into the Sahara's largest human cemetery while on one of his expeditions in search of dinosaurs. As evidence that it was previously a greener and more lush environment, the Gobero site in Niger was inhabited as early as 10,000 years ago. There are human remains mingled along with those of fish, crocodiles, and other creatures. 10. Numerous finds were merely sticking their heads out of the sand. Nearly 200 human burials were found during the course of 2 years of excavation, which suggested that there were 2 distinct occupancy periods that were more than 1,000 years apart. Both the Kithians and the Tenarians left behind indications of their existence. Arrowheads, bone jewelry, and harpoons that would have been used for hunting in the adjacent waterways were also located. A large number of the burials were remarkably strange. Another man was sitting on the shell fragments of a turtle while one man was buried with his head in a pot. Maybe we'll never fully understand how these people lived and passed away. Not all of the Sahara's mysteries are indeed being revealed.
Thank you all for watching this video. Hope you find this video useful. If you feel the video is informative, please give a like, subscribe and support my channel. Your support will be of immense help. Thank you.